Hey, what's going on, Teach Better fam? It's Chris here, and I am bringing you a bonus episode from last weekend's Admin Mastermind Rewind and live Q&A bi-weekly family check-in with Rae Hughart and Dave Schmittou. We hope you enjoy the awesome conversations and discussions that took place last weekend during this event, and we hope that you follow us in the future. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and Twitter for any of these events coming up at Teach Better Team. We hope you enjoy this episode and hope it brings a lot of positivity to start your week.
You need to click it twice. There we go. Hey, friends! We are here for our bi-weekly family check-in. Dave, tonight we are doing some epic spoiler alerts.
I've seen some of this. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the big secret is. I feel like I'm supposed to know something.
Okay, you say that. You know what spoiler alert is, you have been so excited that you get to be the one to share it. So we're going to be doing that tonight. In addition to the big spoiler alert, guys, you guys know this is our Sunday bi-weekly family check-in with our Admin Mastermind Rewind, where we just discuss all things. But more importantly, it's just a live Q&A. So I want you guys to be thinking of like, what's going on this week? How are you? Are you on spring break? What are you doing to relax? What are you doing to maybe get to spring break? Or how are you preparing your classroom to bring some excitement after spring break? That would be kind of cool. So we're going to be right back here in just a minute. But in the comments, make sure you say hi to us. I love that Lindsay Titus already is commenting. She's such a rock star. Make sure you tell us where you're watching from, and we'd love to hear how life's going. Let's do this. All right, Dave, I know that we have a spoiler alert coming on, but I just tell you, I challenged on Twitter and Instagram for people to guess what the spoiler alert is. And one person guessed, their only guess, Lindsay Titus. That was just the guess. So
that's what they were hoping for, right?
He was the first one commenting, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like serendipitous because apparently the spoiler alert, I guess, was that it was about Lindsay.
Yeah, hey, can I brag? I got to hang out with Lindsay Titus for a little bit today. Aren't you jealous?
I am jealous. So jealous. Well, unfortunately, the spoiler alert is not about Lindsay, but I actually have a celebration about Lindsay. Can we do that?
Yes, please. Share.
And then I want to say hello to like all these people: Debbie, Brad, Caitlin, Nikki, Kylie, Robert Breyer's here, Jamie's here. Jamie just released her new book. Guys, if you haven't seen Jamie's book, Jamie, will you do us a favor and post the Amazon link to your book so we can give it a shout out? It's so stinking fun. But Lindsay Titus did just join the Teach Better Speakers Network. That was exciting.
So meaning like I could hire her to come speak to me? Like I could just contact you and say, can you let Lindsay just speak to me for a little bit, please?
Yes, you can help the Teach Better team. Better yet, if you're a principal or a district leader, or maybe you are a facilitator of a conference happening somewhere and you want to book a speaker, we have a whole slew of amazing people at teachbetter.com/speakers network. And Lindsay Titus is among them. Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Dave, I think we have all these great friends here, not because they're excited about our bi-weekly family check-in with like the live Q&A, but because I think they're wondering about the big surprise. And I think we should hold off a bit and like say hello to our friends and talk shop first.
Hey, I agree with you. Milk this thing for all it's worth. Make them wait.
But isn't it so fun to hang out with your friends on Sunday? Like, it's good to see all of you.
Right. Yeah. We're going to pretend that you are here for us.
Yes. And can I just say, I just had this moment. I apologize. I'm going to embarrass myself on camera. So Katie Miglin, who's also on the Teach Better team, newbie to the Teach Better team, is running our tech right now. And at the time, she's running our tech because she has some responsibilities that will be coming later in the future that has to do with maybe helping with some videos like she's doing right now, popping up comments and doing cool things like that. I'm also realizing, thank God she's running it because I usually click on things, but I only have one arm right now. That would have been really hard to do.
So I'm full transparency. I assumed that's why she was here doing this because there was a part of me was like, oh, Rae didn't trust me to do it. She asked Katie to come do it instead, but that's okay. But I'm glad you put that out there just so it makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Dave, you are fully capable of running all the tech on our live streams. I so know that. But Katie reached out saying, hey, I'm on the team. I'd love to learn more about how our live streams work. And we're like, ooh, you know how we do things, like, let's just throw them in the deep end.
Right.
We're going to run the back end of our Sunday hangout. So it worked out well.
So all the cool things that are popping up on the screen, that's Katie. She's running it.
Katie. Hey, Katie, will you throw up Jamie's link for her book on Amazon? I want to give a big shout out that everyone goes and checks out her book, Educator Reflection, Volume 2. I'm so excited for her. So congrats, Jamie. We love the work you do. Great mastermind person. Yeah.
Just a great person, period.
Well, yeah. Great administrator, great human being. She puts a smile on your face. I love it.
True story.
So Dave, how's life?
Life is good. Spring has sprung. I feel like maybe you're seeing these in Illinois. Tulips are starting to pop through a little bit. That always gives me so much hope. I'm seeing the robins on the hunt for worms right now, which always gives me hope. Today, it reached 62 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Life is good right now. Life is good.
I'm glad to hear that. And I know you really like warm weather. So I think anytime it's a good weather day, I'm like, oh, I hope Dave's enjoying this.
Yes. I will be outside enjoying every single second I can get. Plus, it's March Madness time. And that always brings a smile to my face, especially when I see some of the big names that are going down right now and some big names that are still standing. But we'll talk about that some other time.
That's the orange thing that you dribble, right?
That is, yeah. It's supposed to. For some teams, though, it's not really working out quite like that. The ball's not going in the hoop like they hoped it would. But
yeah. I have heard that there's been some teams out that people are really, really thrown by. It's just a weird year, but I have a feeling that your team is still in, that you're excited about.
Yeah. Michigan's still doing all right. Michigan's holding their own. Yeah. Illinois, Ohio State, Texas. It's been kind of rough for them.
I'm going to pretend to be a Michigan fan because you are a Michigan fan. So
hold on. You didn't have to add the pretend word. You could have just said.
Guys, our spoiler alert is that I'm a major Michigan fan. Holy cow, massive. I think their colors are blue and gold, I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty close. Yeah. We'll go with that.
What is it?
To be really prissy, I guess we'll say, or put your pinky in the air when you drink. They don't call it gold. They call it maize here. Maize, like the color of corn. That's the official thing. Maize and blue.
Okay. So. Okay, that's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you're happy. That good weather, March Madness, all good things.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm so glad to see you on the mend, back here doing your thing and smiling. It's good.
Yeah, guys, This is my first time on camera in, what do you think? 2 weeks.
I think the last time was when we did this.
You're right. The last time, so it would have been exactly 2 weeks. That was my last live stream I did. I had surgery on the 9th, so I am 12 days out and hopefully on the up and up. I've learned a lot, been kind of taking some time away. I haven't worked in 2 weeks. And I just tell you, in case anyone was wondering, I am not somebody who can sit in bed for 2 weeks. And in case that surprises you in any way, I've been bored as come, and I don't really recommend it. I'm excited to slowly ease back into things this week, slowly but surely.
I'm going to be curious. It's going to be very interesting to see if you can actually slowly do anything, because there's been a lot of stuff. Hasn't come quite to a standstill, but that is desperately in need of some Rae touch. There's a lot of people looking for some Rae touch. So
I'm excited to get back in. I'm actually very fortunate. This is my school's spring break, so I don't have teaching this week. So I'm going to slowly ease into teach better team responsibilities this week, and then slowly lead into school responsibilities. But I have the following week. But I haven't been to school. I'll have taken 3 weeks off, which is a whole long time to be away from children. I'm with my students.
Wow.
Somebody asked the Michigan mascot in the comments. I didn't know they had a mascot. I thought it was just the M. Isn't it just
okay? It's not just the M, but this is a good segue that if people do have questions, literally, it can be about anything. It can be like this. Just stump Rae. Feel free. If you've got questions for either one of us, but primarily for Rae, we like to put her on the spot.
Sure.
Drop them here. This is your opportunity. So, do you really not know their mascot?
I really thought it was an M. Is that not right? Okay, wait. Hold on. Are they they're not, no. I was thinking Devils, and that's DePaul. Are they the Blue Devils?
That's DePaul. Yeah.
Okay.
Still the wrong state. DePaul is still in Illinois.
No, I know, but I was thinking of like blue things. I'm like Michigan.
Oh, Rob Breyer's giving you a clue.
Comic book character with
no, their mascot's not Edward Scissorhands.
Blades on hands. I have no idea.
Notoriously, it's the meanest animal on earth, is what a lot of people would call this thing. Not a wolf.
Is it the one that does
Not the Tasmanian devil.
No. Oh, that was so exciting.
Although you did do that one really, really well one day during Brain Break when you had to act that out in charades.
The meanest animal, it's not a wolf.
It kind of sounds like that, though.
It sounds like a wolf? A Wolverine?
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Nikki, for helping me out. I am glad that I got there, but sorry that you're disappointed in me. I do love that we do an open Q&A on Sundays, though, because Dave, if you remember, and I mean, when I say you remember, like the story that I know we've told 100 times, but the biweekly family check-in started because people were like, could you go live every so often and answer some questions? And so I know that we are now live like 7 days a week, but I do kind of like that we do this. Did you see that for the first time ever, we officially have a Teach Better events calendar now? That is not a part of the spoiler alert. That was announced earlier this week. But if you are somebody who likes to catch the live sessions that the Teach Better team is doing and make sure you don't miss any of the conversation, we officially have a Google like calendar that will tell you when we're going live and what's up with the team, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe that's why everybody's here. Maybe everybody downloaded the calendar and they're like, oh, look, I've got a reminder now on my phone, and they knew to be here.
You know, I really hope that's the case, although I do think they're still here for the spoiler. Like, they're going to ask questions eventually, and they want to hear about Admin Mastermind, but it's the spoiler. The spoiler is big news, but if you want to get information on the events calendar, it's just teachbetter.com/events calendar. So you can add that to your Google Calendar and get information of when we're live or when other things are going on. The Admin Mastermind's on there. If you're an ambassador for the Teach Better team, ambassador event reminders are on there. So it really has more than just lives, but depending on how you're affiliated with the team, there might be some things that you might choose to participate in.
And I jokingly said, but honestly told you this on Friday night. One of the reasons I'm so excited about this is I can look at that and say, am I allowed to talk about these things yet? And if it's on the calendar, I know I can talk about it. So like the things that we're possibly maybe going to be sharing here eventually, if it's not on the calendar, lips are sealed, Dave. Wait until Rae says you can share. So I'm excited.
I will tell you.
That's true.
You guys are live all the time. That's true, Jim Kaplan. I do have to say, Dave, I know that we're like outing a special thing coming soon. That spoiler alert. However, if we could do an even like a further away spoiler alert, there's an event. There's a week in May where we are going to be live every single day. And I was going through the events calendar and trying to figure out what I could put on there and what I couldn't. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited to add this to the events calendar because it was literally an entire week of live, like of like all this information. And I really had to stop myself to be like, don't do it. So here's what I did. If you guys are on the events calendar, you can see that I did this. It's like a coming soon with a question mark the whole week to be like, save the time, but we're not telling you why yet.
Yeah. And it's that first full week of May that you're discussing, right?
It is the first full week of May. Yes, for a very special celebration the first week of May.
Yeah. And I feel like that first week of May is a special time almost every year. So, yeah.
Every year it is. It's a huge deal. It's my mom's birthday that week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is probably a nice reminder to you that Mother's Day is coming as well, right?
It's usually the same day. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same day this year. My mother's birthday is May 10th. And so it's usually like around that same time.
My mom's is May 13th. And I was so happy as a kid when I could double dip and say, Mom, happy Mother's Day birthday. And just, But
you know, I want to get to this comment, so keep this here. But I have to tell you, Dave, that's poor practice because my sister's birthday is around like Christmas holidays, and she hates when people double dip. I assume that the mothers feel the same way.
I guarantee my mom didn't like it. I said I liked it. So yeah.
Well, I love the way this comment. I think we're going to answer this comment, and then we are going to get into our spoiler alert. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Let's see what this comment says. Glad you're doing better, Rae. Oh, thank you so much. How would you both encourage educators to take risks, make classroom changes post spring break? Love the energy from you both. Thank you so much. So fun.
I'm going to figure out who Facebook user is while you're doing that, because I got to figure out who said that. So you feel free to think about this, because I think the question is really a good question for you coming back to the classroom soon. So
yeah, no kidding. I also want to preface, if your name is coming up right now as Facebook user, whether it be this person or really any time, it's because StreamYard, if you're participating in our private group, blocks your name unless it gives you permission. So if you're ever on a live stream and you want your name to show up, you just need to give it permission, but we are more than happy to chat with you. If you are somebody who is commenting ever and that's happening, feel free to also add your name as the last bit of your comment so we can talk directly to you, because we do love to interact with you personally. I think it's tricky always to encourage educators to take risks and make changes, whether it be pre-spring break, post-spring break, or any stinking time in between, because when you ask somebody to take risks, they need to feel safe. And I think that the root of this question is, how do you encourage an educator to take risks or do anything? Oh my God, Dave, it's hard.
I know. I saw just as I saw the comment. Yeah, speak of the devil, Hunter, we were just talking about you before we went live here. So yay, Hunter. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rae.
No, I'm all thrown. It's Hunter. Hunter, we're such big fans of you. We were literally just talking before we went live about how much we love your podcast and all the work that you do. If you guys are not following Hunter Fletch, I totally encourage you to. I really like following him on Instagram. That would be my recommendation. And his dog is really cute. So that's helpful. Okay. Back to this question, encouraging educators to take risk. I think it has to do with educators feeling safe. So I think the root of this, before Hunter threw me off, the root of this is really, how are you working to create a safe environment, whether it be for your colleague to colleague or leadership to teacher or anything in between. Risks can only happen in a place where you feel safe to try something. Don't you feel, Dave?
Yes, and yes. And I think, the framing of this question, the fact that it didn't just say, how do you encourage people to take risks in their classroom? The idea of after spring break. I think this is a time of year where there's a lot of educators that are worried and they feel this pressure, whether it's because of the big, scary tests that are coming, evaluation season is coming, the crunch of the end of the year. They just feel like there's all this stuff that they're supposed to do to please other people, or to do things that other people have expectations of, whether those are right or wrong. And they're wondering, is this a time where I can still safely take some of those chances that I've been wanting to try or trying to take, even in this season? And it goes to your point of, it starts and ends with trust. You have to have those conversations. You have to know that you can do this. You have to know that you can fail epically, and that somebody's still going to have your back and support you, and that you can pick yourself back up. And the person that supports you could be your administrator, could be a boss, could be your teaching partner next door, could be your students, could be the students' parents. You got to have somebody that you can trust in, confide in, that is going to support it when it goes well and when it goes haywire.
So with that, I think there's a few different things you can do, like getting a buddy to take a risk with you, I think helps with that. Like, I know we joked about Katie Miglin, who's running a few things for us right now on the tech side, but she's also a new member of the Teach Better team. I've been friends with Katie for years, and I know that I can always try wacky things, and Katie's going to be a reflection partner with me. She sometimes adds to the humor and the fun of risks I'm taking. And sometimes she tries them alongside me in a different way so we can have conversation and dialogue around them. So getting a buddy to try risks with, whether that be down the hall or even in a different building around the world, somebody who can just try with you, I think is a really fun opportunity. The other element is, right or wrong, and maybe this is the unpopular opinion, Dave, so I apologize for this blunt demeanor, but if you've already made it to spring break, you got 2 months left to try and make an impact. And if you haven't done it yet, you might as well try it now, because otherwise you're just admitting that you won't do what's fun or good for kids. And so with testing, although I understand a lot of stress, also comes with a lot of downtime, a lot of quiet time, a lot of independent work time. And so with all those pieces together, choose to do something fun, because otherwise I just think that time is such a waste. Yes, we have to test, but then a lot of teachers throw away the second half of the day because they had testing in the morning. Don't throw away valuable time. Do something wacky. Who cares? And I think it really is an opportunity for us to try something and say, well, what was my other option? To just throw the day away, or to do something really cool and have it maybe not go well? I'd rather take a risk.
No, spot on. And I would even take it to that step further. Before you get to the test, I know there were people feeling the crunch of, but I've got to do the prep. There's so much I've got to teach these kids before the test. And I would just challenge people to think about, as an adult, the memories that you have. What are those memories based off of? They're based off of epic experiences. They're based off of maybe something you did with somebody else. Or like for me, I've got this weird memory where I can remember almost any song I heard for the first time, like where I was when I heard that song and what I was feeling, what I was experiencing, what I was going through, if it was a song that resonated with me. It just goes to the point of emotions drive memories. You have to have these emotional experiences. You've got to go big. If you want kids to remember things for your class, for the content you're teaching, and you're worried about this big, scary test, this is the time to go big. This is the time to have this epic thing happen in your classroom, because that's the stuff that kids are going to remember. So if you are worried about test prep and I got so much to teach my kids, cool. Then go out there and go big right now.
I do have to say, though, and I know we're getting to our spoiler alert, so thank you for those of you who are still with us. We're discussing Hunter's question about encouraging educators to take risks in the classroom after spring break. I do have to say, Dave, sometimes doing something huge and big and fun and taking a risk can also help a boring activity not be so boring and tedious. This is a silly example, but there's typically in a normal year, and I didn't get to do it this year, so maybe I should next week, but I have a bus in my classroom, like a huge yellow bus, huge. And the students always walk in and there's a lot of rules. And obviously they have to not only dress appropriately to get on the bus, but we practice greeting the bus driver and we practice road safety. And it's just the wackiest day. But I can tell you that once we get through the 5-10 minutes of pure wackiness, we just kind of have a normal learning day. And sometimes learning days are a little boring sometimes. And that one specifically kind of is. Students are seated in the bus in rows and they're just working. And still students come back and they're like, Miss Hughart, do you remember when we had a bus in our room? And you're like, wow, I can create these really magical moments that just take a few minutes of time, but then they remember it so well as they move in. And you discussing how that's beneficial for a test is just so exciting. Go try something big. It's so cool.
And by big, I mean, you could have a bus in your room. You could have a room transformation day like Maggie was just talking about. You can do simple things. I remember when I was a teacher, I would randomly just take the kids outside to sit in the bleachers by the baseball field or the track. And I would just have regular class out there. But now they're making these associations to the stuff they learned. Like, oh, I remember when I learned this, I was out by the track or I was out on the baseball field. Just change it up a little bit. It's good for you. It's good for them.
It's such exciting. I love talking about wacky things that teachers do because I know this is bad, but yeah, it's for the students, but it also totally revs me up every time I do stuff like that. I am always grinning ear to ear, so excited and just so thrilled to be a teacher those days that we kind of need that for us, guys. I'm not trying to make this about teachers. Yes, we're doing it for students so they're successful. But sometimes we got to do stuff that builds us up too. And that's a perfect example of a day. I can't stop smiling. I love that day in my classroom. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that's it. That's good.
So cool. All right. We've had a lot of comments. I love that there's so many of you that are participating and watching. Let's get into our spoiler alert. Dave, we are releasing information for the first time. And we not only have specific details of an event that we want to completely blab and share.
Okay, so right there, it's an event now. So we got that. So it's not a person.
It's not a person.
Event. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I also think that we should share that there is other things coming this week that I want to allude to, if you don't mind. We're going to do some big spoiler alerts. So that's okay.
Absolutely. I feel like I should have flashing lights and a siren to mimic the graphic that's been shared all over the place.
That graphic was kind of it gave me a little anxiety when I was seeing it, that red light. I was like, oh, there's something big. You ready?
I am. It's a boy, everybody. No, not we're doing? No?
Guys, we're releasing the date of a 12-hour live. We have decided our 12-hour lives, we have done them twice, and we have just gotten so much incredible feedback from all of you. And we are so excited to announce that we have another one coming in literally a month. It is April 24th. We're having a 12-hour live. And it is a Saturday. So you guys are going to go through a whole week in April. We know it's such a stressful time, But we are coming at you April 24th with giveaways and sponsors, positivities, teachings, and everything in between. Dave, how do you feel about another 12-hour live coming so quick?
I am so stinking excited for so many reasons. One, these things just keep getting bigger and better every single time. Still 12 hours. So I don't want to minimize. 12 hours is a long time. But we don't have to extend the time to 24, 36, 48 hours to make it bigger and better. I mean, this thing is so big. Katie Miglin is now on the team because of 12-hour lives. Like, she is here to help manage these events. So that is epic. I'm so excited.
Well, and as you guys already know, the 12-hour live was a really dumb idea Jeff Gargas had last summer, where he literally, guys, I kid you not, I tell you the truth. He was like, what if I set up a live stream and people like just watched me work for 12 hours? I'm like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And then it turned into this 12 hours of free professional development from experts around the world. And we threw it together in 2 weeks. When it ended, I was like, we are never doing that again. But then we went all the way from July all the way to December. And right after the holidays, we did another one. And it got such good feedback. I love the opportunity to just share 12 hours of professional development with teachers. So we set a goal this year, once we've been ad-libbing this whole thing, that we were going to do it 3 times. We're going to do 3 12-hour lives this year. And we said, okay, if we're actually going to make this happen, we need some help. So thank goodness Katie Miglin joined the party, and she is going to help us organize and put this all together. I cannot believe we have one coming next month, April 4th. Woo!
And I want people to understand, like, the work that goes into this. This isn't something like Rae just decided while she was recovering the last 2 weeks, we should do another one. This has been in the works since the last one ended.
Yep. The
groundwork has been laid for this. And keeping the date a secret while working with all of the things behind the scenes is a magical act. So I don't know how you did that. But April 24th has been circled with hearts and sparkles and all kinds of things on my calendar for a while now. So no longer do I have to keep it a secret. We can just talk. Are we allowed to talk about what's happening that day or anything? Or is that still kind of...
Let's give a few details.
Okay,
because just say this 12-hour live, if you've never joined a Teach Better 12-hour live, then welcome April 24th. This is your first one that you'll participate in with us.
How much does it cost, Rae?
It's completely free. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Completely free.
What? Okay.
I know. And there's no Zoom link. You don't have to worry about it. You just log in your favorite social media and you can pop in and out or watch all 12 hours. But this thing is programmed it's really half an hour by half an hour. Like, something is happening always. And so I think last time we had over 70 educators participate in the 12 hours. Everything from goofy brain breaks to really great professional development. Dave, you were part of an hour last time that people talked about. People are still talking about Dave and Caitlin's grading conversation that we had on December 28th.
I'm still talking about the brilliance of Caitlin Giordano from that conversation. Like, she gets me fired up. Yeah. But you said goofy brain break and then great conversations. The adjectives you choose to use sometimes, Rae Hughart, are somewhat confusing to me.
I know, Dave. But I do love that you can provide us some serious professional development and then some relaxation. I really value that about you, Dave.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Very good. But this time, April 24th, we have something going on every single half an hour for 12 hours. If you want to see what this is like, by the way, you can go to the Teach Better YouTube channel and you can actually see the 24 hours of PD that we've done between these two events that we did last summer and then December. But April, I think, is going to be the best one yet, because we actually have probably the most voices trying to bring the most value as possible in these, in this 12-hour event. So I'm over the moon excited for April 24th.
Are we allowed to tell people the time?
Sure. I think the time's pretty predictable. We keep the time pretty typical. It's usually 8 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern. Katie Miglin, is that right? She's nodding her head.
That's what we have. That's what was said. I just wasn't sure if things have changed. So, okay.
Yeah. So I think it's 8 to 8 Eastern. Okay. So for Central Time, it's 7 to 7. And there's no breaks, guys. This is literally 12 hours of someone or a group of people that are talking shop. Every single half an hour has specific topics. We're going to share an agenda in advance. We have so many sponsors, Dave. I was blown away by the sponsors a part of this event. It's like a conference, but it's like not a conference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, completely. And what I love in anticipation of this, once people can start to see who's going to be coming, you can kind of pick and choose the sessions you want to attend, if you will.
Right.
But you will know a lot of these people, or you'll recognize a lot of them from social media, or you've read their books or whatever. And you can actually reach out to them ahead of time and say, hey, I've been dying to ask you at some point, can you weave this in? And you can kind of prime the pump to be what you want it to be. So it's so exciting.
I do have to say, Dave, how do I phrase this without looking like a nerd? I think I'm most nervous for this 12-hour live on April 24th, because I know there's going to be like the goofy segments that we always love. I am confident there's going to be some sort of dialogue with you and Caitlin talking about grading. I mean, I think that the world will explode if we don't have something like that on there. But selfishly, I am interviewing my education idol, and I'm so nervous. And
when are you interviewing me? I didn't see that.
Oh, I'm not interviewing you. Maybe at some point that would be fun to do.
Okay.
But yeah, I won't lie. The guests for this one are out of this world. They're out of this world.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty cool. I can't wait. Can't wait.
That was a good spoiler, don't you think? That was exciting.
I'm so excited. And I love that you told people already it's happening 3 times a year. So I don't have to like try to hide that now.
Well, no, we're not telling you the dates for all of them, but I will tell you. So April 24th is this one. So that's coming really soon. It's a Saturday. And remember, everything's recorded. So you could listen to this as you're going throughout your day. If you miss an hour, you can absolutely still get all the professional development. Guys, we're just hanging out for 12 hours. Come join us. There will be another 12-hour this summer. So at some point this summer, we will be doing it again. And there'll be another one over winter break next year. So
this is so typical of Teach Better. It really is. There's a pandemic. Yes, there is. How can we still reach people? We're not able to connect in person right now. How can we still continue to gather and spend time with each other? I mean, 3 times this year, 2 times last year, 3 times this year. I can't wait to see what 2022 has.
Don't even go there, Dave. Don't even go there. I do have to say, though, to Danielle's comment, she says, thank you for these 12 hours because my PLN has grown exponentially. I won't lie. I feel that way. And I'm a part of the organization, like of these 12 hours of this 12-hour event, that I was kind of looking at our lineup the last time and the time most recent. I mean, you're looking at a lot of people, a lot of different people for both events. We specifically had some people make an appearance during both, and some people we like switched out for different content, different discussions. I was so surprised how different our lineup is for this one, because I'm like, wow, we know more people that have not been a part of it. Like, I'm so excited for these new voices to share their stories.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's the diversity of voices is so amazing and so powerful. If I were to just look back at a year ago, March 2020, and if I were tuning in for a 12-hour live to watch it, there would have been some people that I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known what they were speaking about, what they were sharing. And to be quite honest, I might not have even realized the value that they could have provided to me. And seeing these same names getting ready to be shared soon, that are going to be presenting in a month, there's not a single segment that I am not excited to participate in, to watch and learn from. Because there are some people there that say things that truly like push me and make me really sit back and reflect and question what it is that I believe and what are my values. And I cannot wait to have some new ideas and some people pushing back against me a little bit. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yes. So the big spoiler, 12-hour live happening April 24th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm so excited for all of it. And Dave, isn't it weird, before we like move on to the next topic, isn't it weird that when you look at this lineup for the 12-hour live, which I know you guys are not previewed to yet, we will release that closer to the date, who's joining, what topics they're going to be discussing. We'll be giving you a lot of details. We might have some surprises that we won't share, but we'll try and share a lot with you so you can plan your day. But isn't it weird, Dave, to look at these people and like their family? I think it's so crazy. I mean, even just people right now commenting, the comments I can see on my screen because the comments go so fast. It's Calissa, Nikki, Lindsay, Michelle, all family, right? Yeah. Like I love the Teach Better team because these people that you've met only virtually are like your besties. And I think the 12-hour live is going to really emphasize that feeling, because it's going to be new faces. It's going to be people that you, like you were saying, you've read their books, people that you've wanted to connect with, but they're going to be in the Green Heart Teach Better family.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're coming into our world, and we're coming into theirs too. It's not like they had to pass some brand filter and say you have to wear green clothes that day. You have to know what the Green Heart represents. Everything has to be hashtag Teach Better. No, these are people with amazing ideas that are letting us into their world, just like they're coming into ours. So can't wait. It's gonna be good.
I will need some coaching from someone. If you're listening right now, willing to coach Rae Hughart, I am very nervous for one of the interviews that I have to do with my idol. And so if somebody could teach me how to calm myself and not fangirl, that would be really helpful. Like deep breathing exercises or something to calm my nerves. I will need it that day. So
Rae, what did you do the first time you talked to me? Because I would say just do the same thing.
Yeah, it's almost the same, Dave. This person is so similar to you in so many ways. This person I also connected with my first year teaching. So I've just known them longer. I've been a fan of them longer. I've been only a fan of you the last few years when you became my best friend.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
I think I said there was a promo that went out recently where I said that you were my best friend, and Jeff Gargas was like, "Whoa, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't know, sorry, it just came out."
Well, I know I texted you right away and said, "Yay!"
It's so funny. Oh my God, Lindsay says, "But your fangirl moments are the best ever." Lindsay, I will tell you. I know we're not releasing who this is, but Lindsay, I interviewed this person before on Teach Better Talk podcast, and when they were on the podcast, I came off as this epic nerd, and Jeff was so cool and collected, to the point that my education idol, who I can barely form sentences around, signs all of her emails to the team, hashtag Team Jeff. Yeah. Tell me about that. She even has a hashtag Team Jeff shirt. Mm-hmm. Yep. Heartbreak? I think yes. I'm upset. Anyway, Dave, very excited for our spoiler. April 24th, mark your calendar, guys. We will be adding it to our events calendar. If you are looking to stay up to date on all the Teach Better team events, go to teachbetter.com/events calendar, and you'll have all those details. We'll make sure to add the 12-hour live to that as well.
Awesome.
Super cool. Dave, I don't mean to take away the hype, but we also have something big happening later this week that I'd like to give a few hints on.
Do it. Do your thing.
Do you know what's going on later this week?
I have an idea.
So
we didn't talk about this ahead of time, so this was not.
We did it with the ambassador program that people have been eager to get details on, and those details are coming this week.
Are we allowed to say exactly when, or are we just saying this week?
We're just saying this week.
Okay.
I have a feeling that our current ambassadors know the day that it's coming out.
Yes, they were told the date.
Yes. So our current ambassadors will know that when those details are coming out. But if
you almost gave them permission, Rae, I saw that. You almost gave them permission.
Put it in the comments. No, I don't think we can. But I will say that if you are an ambassador, keep your mouth quiet for a little bit longer. But the new ambassadors will know this week if they were accepted into the program. Thankfully, the ambassador program is going to open about 3 times this year. So 2 more times this year. So don't worry if you don't get accepted this time. Don't stress. There's so many other opportunities to apply. We only take a very, very small number. And so I just want all of you to hear me say, I know, had to turn down applications that we were very excited about.
Right.
I want that said. That
there were so many. Oh.
I don't really, the process is it's probably the hardest thing. I think it's the hardest decision we do on the team is that, because we know that we're saying no, not yet, but it really is a not yet. If you are somebody who applied, please know that we're saving your application. When there's another round opening, which we're telling you there will be, we're excited to have you then. But I'm very excited for some new ambassadors. This is going to be a big deal.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because again, I know how intense the process really was. But an example to this is you and Katie, who's hanging out backstage somewhere, wherever backstage is in a virtual world. You guys are both amazing math teachers. But imagine if there was only one opening in a school and you both applied. Like, how would somebody choose between you and Katie, right?
Katie's in the background going, me, they'd pick me.
but think about that. I mean, and it's interview season right now. So a lot of people can understand that. Yeah. There are amazing, amazing people that are out there that deserve opportunities, but it might not be happening yet. I love how you said yet. It will open up again. So just be ready. Mm-hmm. Hold on and come back and apply again, because we need amazing people.
Well, and it's interesting you say that, because you're right that the opportunity to kind of like throw your name in, right, when you're hoping to get, whether it be a job interview, an ambassador position, it really is a yet, because it's just, we're accepting only a small number right now, and we do that really intentionally. Actually, this is brand new to the ambassadors as well. I think we can talk about this because I know our ambassadors already are aware. But we are actually doing a lot within our ambassador program outside of welcoming new ambassadors in. We've just launched a mentor program that will be happening ambassador to ambassador. We are just releasing the trophies, the badges that the last ambassadors that we accepted were our founders for this program. The program has evolved so much, and we intentionally take a small group so that we can ensure that you're not only learning, but you're hopefully getting the support that you need throughout your growth. And the reason that we do professional development that's exclusive to our ambassadors is to continue to support you. But we also do an incredible amount of support outside of our ambassador program, because we know that program is so small that we want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to learn. And so things like our 12-hour live or our biweekly family check-in, like, we are constantly forming relationships and doing professional development. This is just one small way to continue to get involved. So I hope all of you get in, but I also am excited for future times that it will open.
Yeah. For full transparency, so people understand, like, people tell us no to things all the time. I went on 16 job interviews before I got my first administrative job. 16. And it sometimes you just have to wait. Sometimes you have to just fight through. Sometimes you got to change a little bit. That was me. But if you don't get in now, just stay true, stay part of the family, keep going. There'll be space for you soon. So,
good. I've been told plenty in interviews, and I've been told plenty at conferences I'd applied to speak at. Like, I actually had somebody ask me that on a podcast interview I did 2 weeks ago. They were like, "Oh, so you just present at conferences all the time?" And I'm like, I get turned down weekly for a conference that I applied to speak at. Like, no, not everybody wants to hear from me, or not everybody has a space for me yet, or they're talking about a topic that isn't my area of expertise. I'm not the right fit. Like, there's so many different reasons why timing is everything. And but I'm very excited that I know there's been a lot of people eager and kind of waiting for those details. And so that will be this week that we're welcoming in a new batch of ambassadors and pairing them up for the first time with their ambassador mentor.
That's so fun. That's so fun. Yay.
Oh my gosh. So we have been live for 43 minutes, Dave.
Yeah.
We talked about a whole lot. We asked how you were. We got some updates. We did our spoiler alert. We talked about how our 12-hour live date is officially public for all of you, April 24th. Write that down. We also answered Hunter's question that was about taking risks in the classroom after spring break. I want to hear about Admin Mastermind.
Oh, do you now?
I do. I just want to hear, because it's been 2 weeks. That's 4 sessions of Admin Mastermind.
So Katie, I'm going to talk to you. This is sort of like how you and Jeff talk to Chris when you're doing your podcast, and you tell him what to do. Katie, pull out the hook when I keep going, because we're 45 minutes in, and there were some epic conversations this week that Rae wants me to try to unpack in the short amount of time we have.
We're going to be fine.
So again, we meet every Tuesday, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., open to anybody. And I'm super excited. This week, I had tons of people reaching out to me on Twitter and Instagram asking about it. So I think the network's going to continue to grow. So if you're at all interested, you consider yourself a leader and you just want to be able to lean into other people and brainstorm with others, there's a space for you at this table. We have no cap. We have lots of room. Come on, join us. teachbetter.com/mastermind, and we'll get you in. Or just DM one of us and we'll send you the link. Wink, wink. Yep. But come join us. But this week, wow, Wow is all I can say. There's such a difference between our morning group and our evening group. There's such family and such different dynamics that take place within each of those families. So it's always so cool to me to hear the different conversations. Our morning group, let me just summarize 3 of the big conversations, and then I'll talk to you in more depth about what we talked about in our evening group, if that's okay.
Okay.
So the morning group tends to be where more administrators, so there's more quantity there. And this week we had people joining us from Jordan, like the country Jordan, from Canada, from I think it was 18 different states. Lots of different perspectives were there. So in one of the conversations, we were just talking about what it's like right now dealing with the pandemic and testing in all kinds of states. And we had somebody in Texas who joined us and was just talking about what it's like right now in Texas, because it's different in Texas than almost anywhere. So that was just an amazing conversation to have. We had another conversation about how are we celebrating people right now and really focusing on the positives and making sure that especially teachers are feeling valued and supported, and what are we doing to amplify the things that really matter. We had another conversation about what Taylor Armstrong calls Avenger syndrome. When you have that leader that feels like it's their responsibility to solve everybody's problems and they're the only ones that can solve the problem. So how do you make sure that you don't get Avenger syndrome, and how do you step in when you see somebody else with Avenger syndrome, which was,
love that.
That was good.
Yeah.
But then in the evening session, though, we kind of went a different route because I took over and was very selfish. Because in the morning group, we talked about books that are transformative and things that people are reading or listening to that are impacting people. And somebody mentioned a book that I actually had on my bookshelf. So I went and grabbed it and then spent the rest of the day reading this book. And I was blown away by it, but had lots of holy cow, I've messed this up moments as I'm reading this book. The book is called Extreme Ownership. And it's by a former U.S. Navy SEAL called Jocko Willink. And the basic premise is you're never going to be able to be an effective leader unless you own every mistake everybody else makes. As the leader, you have to take the blame. You have to accept responsibility. You have to be able to go wherever it is and fall on the sword for anybody and everybody. And I was wrestling with a circumstance that I was really battling whether or not something was my fault. I was looking at thinking, I did everything right. This other person is just being completely unreasonable.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. I felt like I was doing everything right. The other person was just being completely unreasonable. And as I'm reading this book, I'm being convicted thinking, no, I have to own this. I have to take responsibility for this. So I just outlined the entire scenario that I was struggling with the group and said, do I own this? Do I have to own this? Does extreme ownership belong here? Or is it okay for me to say, no, it's their fault? And it was a good conversation about whether or not we should do this with students and teachers, administrators and teachers, or parents. And where does the blame game stop? And when should we truly fall on the sword and take all the blame? I mean, it was really powerful, and it really helped me as an individual. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Esther commented even before we got into this conversation, she said, Dave's extreme ownership question kept me thinking all week. Obviously made an impact for her too, because that was she posted that comment before you even brought that up as a memorable moment that you had. So that's so cool.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about early on too, with risks. And sometimes people remember those big events more than they'll remember any of the details. And in this situation on Tuesday, I was wrestling with this thing, like truly wrestling. I'm still kind of wrestling with it. It's a real story that really impacted me. And I don't want to open it all up, because one of the things about Mastermind is it's a safe space where we can share anything, and we know that it's not going to go to the world, right? So if you're a leader and you say, I just need somebody to help me, but I don't want Rae and Dave to talk about my issue with the world, you can bring it to Mastermind. I'm sharing this one because it was a me thing. But I really wrestled with, and I'm still wrestling with, as a leader, is it all really my fault? Because I want to take all the credit when things go right, but do I need to take all the blame when something doesn't go right? I don't know.
Okay, Dave, I have not read the book, but to be honest, I'm really resonating with this topic because I just had a conversation about this, and I wish that the person I was discussing with went to the mastermind they're talking about, because we had a lot of dialogue around this concept, because they're a leader and they were struggling with feeling so much weight on their shoulders that they have seemingly taken this approach of taking ownership over when things go wrong. And my challenge to them was that while that might be important, we also need to take then the ownership and satisfaction when things go right. And I think it's easier sometimes for leaders to say, oh, when something goes wrong, it's my fault. I see that in leadership that I've worked for. I see that in leadership that I'm friends with. But I don't always hear those people when things go well say, yeah, I actually had a lot of ownership in making that success too. And so this is a really tricky balance. I love that you brought up the topic. And I looked up the book seriously because I want to see if they have an audio version, because I would absolutely dive into this content.
Yeah, it's powerful. And what I'll do, Rae, I'll just tonight when I finish reading, I'll read it out loud.
Will you?
A voice memo, and I'll send it your way. Yeah.
I will say it is on Audible, so I think
there you go.
Although I would love to listen to a book in Dave Schmo's voice, I do think that you should record books, just so you know, Dave. You have a good voice.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll do Teachers Deserve It for you, the audio, and
hey, I do want Teachers Deserve It as an audio. I'd also like Teach Better as an audio. It's between you and Hunter. You guys have really great voices because I listen to your podcasts. And so if you guys could do the audio of my books, that'd be great.
Well, it's kind of funny how this conversation's going full circle, because I was talking to Hunter earlier today, and we were kind of talking through this whole extreme ownership thing in a small way. We were also talking through the risk-taking question that he asked in a small way. But I think this idea of extreme ownership, it actually helps with risk-taking. Like as a teacher, if you know that if things don't go right when you're taking some sort of risk, that your leader, your administrator is going to say, that's okay. If somebody else comes in and they see it blowing up in your face, I'll take the blame. It's okay. I don't want you to feel threatened by having to take that risk or that chance. I'll take full responsibility if things don't go right. I think that's a powerful incentive for a teacher to go out there and take a chance. So,
I love that. That's so good. I'm definitely going to look into this concept more. I think it's important for us all to think through that. And I'm really excited to dive deeper into it and then hopefully have dialogue with you, because I can't read a book and not discuss it. Like that doesn't work that way. So that would be good. Yeah. We do have somebody who said, I love audiobooks in the comments. Guys, I listen to all my books on audio, as many as humanly possible. I think I've only read like a handful of books. The rest of them, all audio. Everything's audio for me.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. That's why I've only read Dave's book that he put in his podcast, because I was like,
I tend to only watch books that turn into movies.
I will say, so my TED Talk that just launched officially, the public link is out.
Yes.
And I talk about my struggle and needing audiobooks in there. So that's what made me think of it. I'm like, audiobooks. I just shared that with the world that I can't read in a talk recently.
That's such an amazing conversation. I know Katie's going to probably nix this soon, but we probably don't want to go here now. The name of my first book, the original title was I Don't Care If My Kids Choose to Read. And my publisher said, I can't publish a book with that title.
That's a hard title.
So we changed it. But there's so much we could unpack with what you just said, Rae. We won't go there right now, but unless you want to.
I will say, I think adding, in the TED Talk that I did, that you guys can go check out, by the way, it's officially out. I'm so excited that the public link got approved. For those of you that don't know, the TEDx process, this was actually the final piece to being okay, it's done. So I feel like people, when they saw it live, were like, oh, are you so excited? Is it so nice to have it be over? And I'm like, it's not over till the link is there. So guys, the link is officially there. You can either search my name at TED.com, or you can go to teachbetter.com/TEDx Rae Hughart, and it'll redirect you. But it was fun to be able to talk mastery learning and talk personal story with audio in one piece. So that was cool dialogue.
Speaking of taking a risk, right? Oh my gosh. And the whole process of feedback along the way, and then doubting yourself, and but look at you now.
It was a process. I will joke. Chelsea is on here. I love Chelsea. She says she's trying to encourage her husband to go to Mastermind. Absolutely. You would love Chelsea's husband. Have you met him yet?
I have heard lots of amazing things about Chelsea's husband.
Cool.
Yes.
He's so cool. So fun. Past weeks. I love that you're able to recap those. I totally agree. So fun. Because I really do feel that way, Dave, that there really are so many opportunities that the team has to go live and discuss things, right? We were doing the daily drop-in, which was every single day. I wonder if that will come back someday. And then we also do this every other Sunday thing. We do the brain breaks. We do there's so many things the Teach Better team does. One person, unless you're Livia, one person cannot attend all of them.
Right.
And so to be able to come live during different parts of the week and discuss what's been discussed at other events, at other discussions, I think has so much value. So I appreciate that you come and share kind of what's being discussed in those masterminds.
Well, and I love seeing all these comments here because somebody might be doing some research on the power of social media to change teacher practice. And there's a lot of research out there that says, brings about a community. But I love seeing people here that say, no, it actually transforms what I do in my classroom. Being part of this community surrounds me with people that encourage me to take risks, to take chances, and to try something new. Oh my gosh, I am so amazed and so honored to be able to be a part of something that does that for so many people.
So fun. All right, Dave, we are going to wrap up our Sunday. I love that so many people have stuck with us and shared so many comments and questions and positivity and support. If we could go back and recap, if you're just catching the tail end of this, when it's over, you can go back and rewatch the whole thing. Everything we do when we're live is always saved. We started with the hello. We joked about Katie Miglin running our tech, which, by the way, round of applause to Katie. You were so good. You rocked it. We love you so much. We're so happy that you're on the team. We celebrated Jamie's new book, which is available on Amazon. She's an incredible member of the Admin Mastermind. We're so excited for her. We said hello to so many of our friends that were here today. And we also celebrated Lindsay Titus, a new member of our Speakers Network. We caught up a little bit on our lives. We also answered Hunter's question about taking risks after spring break. Then we did our big spoiler alert for our 12-hour live, officially having a date, April 24th. So make sure you block off the whole day because there'll be 12 hours of free professional development streaming on your favorite social media platform. So get ready for that. And then we talked about Admin Mastermind, which left us with a lot of things to think about. So this was quite a discussion.
Wow, that is quite the memory, Rae.
I know, right?
Man, wow, without a teleprompter, that was good. That was amazing.
Maybe that's what we should invent, a Teach Better teleprompter that like over the screen, you could have like a script, but then I'd have to read it and I would stumble the whole time. So good. Well, Dave, thank you for coming live with me. We will see everyone later this week for all the things going on with Teach Better. But make sure that you subscribe to the Teach Better events calendar at teachbetter.com/events calendar to not only see when we're live, but also to see all the events that you can join in on and add that to your calendar so you don't miss anything. We love you lots. We hope you have a beautiful week and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.